Welcome to the Explainer. Okay, so today we're diving into something truly fascinating and, let's be honest, kind of terrifying. We're unlocking the science behind that waking nightmare we call sleep paralysis.
Has this ever happened to you? You wake up, your mind is racing, you can see everything around you, but you can't move at all. It feels like you're trapped inside your own body. If that sounds familiar, well, you're definitely not alone. And this phenomenon, it has a name, a really long history, and a clear scientific explanation we're about to get into.
I mean, this quote just nails it, doesn't it? It perfectly captures what so many people feel. And it's this exact combo of being totally helpless while feeling like there's some evil presence in the room that has fueled centuries of folklore. You know, stories about demons, night hags, shadow people, all pressing down on their victims. All right, so let's leave the spooky stories behind and get into the science lab. It's time to figure out what's really going on, to uncover the glitch in our brain's sleep system that triggers this whole terrifying experience.
So first things first, let's be super clear. This is not a dream. It's a very real state of consciousness. The best way to think about it is like a glitch in your brain's operating system as it's shutting down or starting up. Your mind, the software, reboots before your body, the hardware, gets the wake-up command. You're online, but your body is still completely in sleep mode.
Now, this whole thing can show up in a couple of different ways. On the left, you've got what's called isolated sleep paralysis. This is the one most people experience. It happens kind of randomly, it's not very frequent, and it can affect pretty much anyone. But on the right, it can also be a recurring symptom of narcolepsy, which is a serious sleep disorder. In that case, it's way more frequent, more intense, and tied to some different stuff going on in the brain.
So, the big question is, why does our body get stuck in this paralyzed state? Well, ironically, the answer is hiding inside a safety feature, a feature that's built into our most active, most mysterious phase of sleep, the REM cycle.
Yeah, you heard that right. This isn't a mistake, it's a feature. Your brain does this on purpose. This protective paralysis is called muscle atonia, and it's what stops you from, actually jumping off the bed when you're dreaming about flying, or punching your pillow when you're dreaming of fighting a dragon. It's an absolutely essential safety mechanism for a healthy night's sleep.
Okay, so check this out. It all comes down to what scientists call a flip-flop switch in our brainstem. When you're awake, the REM-off neurons are firing no problem. But as you slide into a dream, the REM-on neurons take over, and they trigger a part of the brain that sends out the paralyze command to your muscles. Sleep paralysis is simply what happens when your conscious mind wakes up before that switch has had a chance to flip back to awake. You're caught in between states.
So if this is a normal process, what makes the switch glitch out? What are the triggers? Well, it turns out our modern lifestyles might have a lot to do with it.
Wow, just look at that number. Over a third of students say they've experienced sleep paralysis. And that points directly to one of the biggest triggers we know of, a messed up sleep pattern. Late night study sessions, crazy schedules, and tons of stress. It literally creates the perfect storm for this kind of sleep-wake confusion.
And this chart really drives that point home. For the general population, the rate is under 8%. But look at that jump. It skyrockets for students and psychiatric patients, two groups that are often dealing with huge amounts of stress and totally disrupted sleep. It just shows you how strong the link is between our mental state and this very physical experience. So at the end of the day, it's a whole mix of things that can raise your risk. Bad sleep habits are right there at the top of the list, followed closely by stress and anxiety. But it can also be triggered by things like jet lag, certain mental health conditions, and even something as simple as sleeping on your back, which for some reason seems to make episodes more likely for some people. Okay, I know this all sounds pretty unsettling, but here is the really good news. Just understanding what's happening is the first and honestly the most important step toward managing it. It's about taking back control.
So how do you deal with it? Well, for the vast majority of people, you don't need meds or anything complicated. Simple strategies are incredibly effective. On the left, you see the preventative stuff, basically good sleep hygiene. But on the right, these are the powerful techniques you can use during an episode. And it's amazing. But sometimes, focusing all of your mental energy on one tiny movement, like just wiggling a single toe, can be enough to break the paralysis and snap your mind and body back into sync.
So, yeah, it can be absolutely terrifying, but ultimately, sleep paralysis is harmless. It's just a brief, bizarre mismatch that gives us this unique window into the incredible complexity of our sleeping brain. It's like a momentary glimpse into the wiring that separates our conscious mind from our physical self, and it really makes you wonder,
What other secrets is our sleeping brain waiting to tell us every single night?